We're live. Yeah, I do. We're live on YouTube, so whatever you say goes up.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. We're live, live stream now. Check the live. Bob, check the live. Rand's back there with Cameron, so there's no TV back there. There's a yeah.
It's on your channel.
Your mama picture. Yeah, see if you can get it up. Check your phone, check my YouTube channel, see if you've got your mama paper. Yeah, big fat. You have a camera on the stage. Hey, how are you? Huh? Yeah, if you could make sure not to pass it on too hard. Keep your drink away from the electronics. Yep. Thank you, though. Appreciate it. Yeah, man. Gotta make a difference. And you probably don't want to lean on this. I've got a camera, sir. Okay, this guy right here will wobble, and that's our live stream. You're good, though. You lean on that one, though.
So how do I share this?
Did it play? I think the wife I can't really this is the worst time. If I eat before or after. I eat tomorrow. Not that I wouldn't eat, I just grandfather. I'll be coming through a lot. That was the problem I had last time. Something screwed up, so. I can't check my It's Definitely out there. I'm seeing more young kids that are starting to get the message too. We gotta let them know, what's out there. I have social media. Yeah, I'm a grandpa. I got a YouTube channel called Look at your phone. Look up the Hot Vacation live stream. Hot Vacation. Right? We're all a mess, We're a motley bunch of all of us. That's why you can tell us called a motley people. I'm always dressed with care. Look it up, it'll pop up.
extremely fortunate to live in the greatest country in the history of the world. Amen. We got to thank the good Lord Jesus for helping us get to this place here today and for allowing us the opportunity to see the sunrise once more. For me, it's coming full circle. For those that don't know, my name is Yesley Vega, and I was your Republican nominee in 2022. This venue, this stage, was where we kicked our campaign off for the general season, and I couldn't be more proud to be standing here today in support of my good friend, Cameron Hamilton. I don't know about you all, but I'm sick and tired of the status quo. What has having a Republican majority done for us in Washington, D.C.? You all know what's going on. Nothing changes, but by the grace of God, people like Cam decide to step into the arena because they know that we got a country to fight for and a country to defend. So if you're tired of the status quo and you want to send somebody to Washington to fight for your family, for your interests, then I call on all of you to vote for Cameron so that he can be our Republican nominee and so that he can bring it home for us in November. Now I'm going to go ahead and introduce somebody that doesn't really need introduction. Another patriot, a warrior who fights for liberty and for everything that he believes in, my good friend, Matt Strickland.
Is anybody else tired of them trying to make us believe that it's red versus blue and Republican versus Democrat? Because I'm not falling for the bullshit anymore. Are you? Good. Then there's only one decision that you can make in this election right here that will put you on that path to success. If I'm being honest with you and not cutting any cards like you guys know I don't, this is a two-headed horse race right here. There's only two people in this race right now that can win this primary. One of them was handpicked by Kevin McCarthy and is fully funded by Kevin McCarthy, and also said that he will continue to fund Ukraine even with us having a wide open border. But not only that, that same person works for a law firm, and he himself represents Pfizer in court. Is that the person that you want represent you in Congress? No. Or do you want somebody that has already proven to you that even though he's a government employee, he's willing to put his job on the line and put his family's well-being at risk because he knows losing a job pales in the comparison than letting his country down and making it so his children have to pick this fight up when they're old enough? Wouldn't you rather that person fighting for you in Congress? Because I know I would. I also want to thank who I call one of the only people that's actually fighting for us in D.C. for being here today, and that's Senator Rand Paul. Give it up for him, man. Did any of you hear the news that Trump's a felon now? I'm here to let you know, guys, that Trump is not standing in the way of them coming after you. They're coming after you right now, simultaneously. I have been fighting this same deep state for the past 4 years that Donald Trump is fighting right now as well. I've been before a judge, and I've been before an administrative board. I can't tell you how many times the past 4 years. So if they beat Trump in November, they're not coming after you next. They're coming after you right now, folks. You guys know my story because you live right here in my community. But how many people outside of this community don't know my story? How many people outside of Virginia don't know my story? How many people are fighting this same fight that I've been fighting for 4 years outside of this state that you don't know their story? I'm here to tell you thousands of them. They're coming after us, and they're coming after us right now, folks. Not when they steal another election, but right now they're coming after you. This is it for me right here, folks. And I don't know where you stand on elections, and I don't know where you stand on politics, but I can tell you right now, this is it for me when it comes to elections. If we don't get it right here in November, then something's gonna have to give. And we're gonna have to take it back to 1775. And that is my words. That's nobody else's words standing next to this stage. Those are my words, folks. Who I want representing me is somebody that says, we can't fund another country until my people are living like they should. When you say that, when you say, I want somebody to represent me that won't give another dollar to anybody outside these borders until my borders are closed, what do they say? They say the same thing every time. We can walk and we can chew gum at the same time, though. Well, folks, we're not walking or chewing gum, are we? We don't even have a damn Tic Tac to suck on. They lie to us at every single turn, and they think we're stupid. They think you're stupid. They think you don't pay attention. They do the same thing time and time again in these Republican primaries. They lie to you. They trick you into believing that the person running is here to represent you. And then when they win by deceit in these primaries, they turn around and they look at you and they say, I know you saw what I did in that primary. I know you saw I won by corruption. And I know that you know I lied to you in that primary. However, you have to vote for me now in this general election, because if you don't, you'll have a Democrat representing you. And you don't want that, do you? And every time, what do? We say, yeah, you're right. You are just a little bit better than a Democrat, so I'll vote for you. Well, folks, we're in a primary right now. We have a chance to elect somebody to go to Congress to represent us. Well, we don't have to make that bullshit decision anymore. So I'm asking each and every one of you in here to vote for the person that's already proven to you that he will stand up for you, that he will give his job up for you, just to go to D.C. for 2 years and 2 years alone and not give a shit what happens after that, whether he's reelected or not, just to make sure that he can cause as much trouble as possible in D.C. for those 2 years. And that's why I'm asking you to vote for the only person on this ballot that I know will stand for liberty and will stand for the Constitution. And without further ado, that's Cameron Hamilton, folks.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you for everything you stood for and you fought for, brother. We really are in a crisis. I think most of us can feel that, right? We see the direction this country is going, and again, we know that this nation can be better than it is. We're a nation of such rich history. I live with my family in Orange, Virginia. Highway 20 going out that direction, Constitution Highway, right? The very foundational documents that established this country were written right here in the Virginia 7th. I want all of us to think about that. The influence of some of the greatest and most patriotic Americans are right here in the Virginia 7th. If we don't stand up for the Constitution like Matt had indicated, what do we have? We become despondent. We replace it for what? Our government was designed to bring about significant blessings for the next generation. Time and time again, we're being told, well, just sacrifice a little bit of this or a little bit of that, and things will just be better for the greater good. Where does that really lead us? Do any of you feel enriched? Do any of you feel better off now than you did 4, 6, 8, maybe 20 years ago? I'm a father, I'm a husband, I'm a man of faith. The future my children are inheriting is nothing like what I had. But it takes the blood of patriots, it takes great sacrifice and courage to stand up against this monstrosity that we have, to stand up against this bureaucratic state, and remind those legislators in D.C. who they ultimately work for. And it's not their special interests, and it's not lobbyists. They work for us. It's time we remind them of that. Now, when you portray the narrative, I want us to also to take a firm look at some of the things that are going on politically. This progressive slide, this movement in our nation is trying to take our children's rights away from them and trying to expose them to not only radical ideology in these schools, sexually explicit material that is abhorrent. It's not just supported by Democrats. That's the crazy thing about it. We're funding our own opposition. And I've heard conservatives talking about, hey, shouldn't we cut funding to higher education? We're sort of creating our own opposition. I've heard conservatives say, yeah, I can never vote against that. The teachers' unions, the teacher lobbying groups are too strong, they're too powerful. So you're negotiating from fear, is what you're telling me. So you're saying that these values are not worth fighting for. This political establishment keeps, if it valued you, and that's really what we're down here, that's what we're talking about with politics. Imagine a government that actually values you as a human being created in the image of God. What would it uphold? Would they recklessly spend your tax dollars? Would they tax you more and create more of a financial burden and administrative burdens to prevent you from marketplace entry as a small business owner? Who's a small business owner in here? Put your hands up. Do you feel like it's easier to start a business now than it was 10 years ago? Do any of you think it's easier now? No. We've created so many barriers to prosperity, so many barriers to success in this country, and it's time we fight against them. We had this bureaucratic state. We had many Democrats and some Republicans that said, well, we just need to get everyone vaccinated. Never mind your sovereignty. Never mind your individual choice for liberty. If you just comply, the whole pandemic will go away. How has that ever worked in the past? When we suspend our liberties and our freedoms? Is it like we have a good track record of reinstating those? I don't think so. So the point is, we need to put people who stand for principle. I'm proud to be a Republican. It's a party with great history. But we need people who are willing to go toe-to-toe with our own party to put it back on track when we've gotten it wrong. Principle above party, or we have nothing. Now there's a great patriot over here who I'm absolutely honored to have his endorsement for. He has fought so much of this system at great personal cost. That's the real indicator of whether these are just nice ideas that you espouse or whether you actually believe in these principles and you're willing to fight for them. Again, this is a man who fought against a lot of the institutions. This is a man who's been fighting for exposing corruption, fighting for our sovereign rights, fighting for medical autonomy, fighting for not only the Second Amendment, but oh, by the way, how about the Fourth Amendment? I keep hearing this argument. I'm a Second Amendment absolutist. Why are we absolutists with all our other rights? Why are we being told that with FISA, if you just let us spy a little bit more, we'll just do it that much better? Where does that get us? That's the road to tyranny and the road to serfdom. So, this gentleman over here I'm going to introduce, who needs no introduction, a great lover of liberty, an absolute patriot of patriots. I want you all to give it up for a man, the myth, the legend, Senator Rand Paul.
Thank you. It is my pleasure today to enthusiastically endorse Cameron Hamilton for Congress. And I could be prouder to be in Matt Strickland's restaurant, because without citizens willing to fight the Leviathan, they will run us all over. But it takes great courage and the willingness to put your fortune on the line. Thank you, Matt, for the fight. So I was lucky today. We came up and campaigned for Bob Good down in Lynchburg. We came up here, and I was lucky to have my wife come with me, Kelly. We've been married for 33 years. And you would think after being married for so long, I go up later in the week, I come home, you think you should be like waiting at the doorstep with maybe, slippers, a hug, a kiss, something. So I go to Washington, I'm tired, I come home at the end of the week, I knock on the door, she lets me in here, she says, how come Fauci's not in jail yet? It's not for lack of trying. I've referred him twice to the Department of Justice. I've referred his sidekick, David Morenz, to the Department of Justice, and I'm still waiting on a reply. You know who runs the Department of Justice? People get frustrated. You'll read this online saying, quit talking about it, do something about it. I'm not the prosecutor. I can't prosecute people. All I can do is talk about it. We can vote on things. But for the most part, it takes somebody who's going to obey the law. This is what worries me more than anything else we've got going on in our country now, is that there has become two standards for the law. One if you're for Biden and one if you're for Trump. One if you're Trump and one if you're Biden's son. We can't live that way. We had a time period in our history, when I was born, a little before, a little after, when people were not treated with equal protection under the law because of the color of their skin. We got past that, but we had great strife getting past that. Now it's not so much the color of your skin, but the shade of your ideology. Are you vaccinated? Do you homeschool? Are you pro-life? You may not be treated the same way as someone who's on the other side of those issues. If you protest at an abortion center, you're pro-life. You might go to jail for 20 years. If you firebomb a church's pregnancy center, maybe you're not going to be prosecuted. I'm not saying this always happens. I'm saying it's beginning to pop up more and more that there are two sets of justice. It's worrying me. They prosecuted President Trump, former President Trump, for a records violation. It's a state crime that had already expired. The statute of limitations was gone. And they said, oh, if you do it in furtherance of another crime, which is a federal crime. When did we start prosecuting federal crime in state court? But there is this other example of a business regulations or business records malfeasance. What's her name again? Oh, Hillary Clinton. Hers was a little bit bigger. It wasn't $100,000 for a non-disclosure agreement. Hers was $7 million. Paid to a Russian spy called Steele to develop a Steele dossier that said, lo and behold, that a presidential candidate was in cahoots with the Russians, that he was actually a Russian spy. How much of it turned out to be true? Zero. We spent $60 million investigating it. You'd think if it had been true, they would have told us. $60 million. But we're going to send one person to jail, and you know what Hillary Clinton's punishment was? An $8,000 fine. We can't live in a country with different sets of justices. I worry that we're going to come to blows. I'm not advocating it. I'm not advocating civil war. I'm worried that that's what it's going to come to. If we devolve into a society where as soon as someone loses, you prosecute them and put them in jail. What does that sound like? Central America, South America, where you put your opponents in jail or you prevent them from running for office. If you watch CNN, which I don't advise, you hear this nonsense all day long about democracy and Trump's going to destroy the democracy. Well, he's going to interfere with the elections? Do you think it's not election interference to prosecute him in the middle of it, to keep him off the campaign trail, to give him a gag order? It's insane what is going on. Everything they say that he might do, they're already doing right now. But Matt had it right when Matt said that this is the time to make your choice. It isn't in November when you say, oh, well, the Republicans, the lesser of two evil, they're better than Democrats, about this much. Sometimes that's the truth. Sometimes there's no difference at all. The time to make a difference is now. Only about 20% of the people who are registered to vote as Republicans will vote. So those of you who made the choice to come out tonight are incredibly powerful because you're going to vote in the primary. If you influence your friends and others, you become an incredibly potent bloc. Why does it make a difference? I'm there, I'm amidst these people. And here's the way I describe most of them up there. Furniture. They're inorganic, they're lifeless, and you can put them over here, or you can put them over here, but they make no difference. They believe nothing, they are inert, they are worthless. And they are, many of them, Republican. We have debates all the time. If you ask the Democrats, if the 52 Democrat senators were here and we asked them, including yours, if we ask them, do you care about the debt? The Democrats will honorably say, no, we do not care about the debt. In fact, we have a theory, the new monetary theory. You can spend what you want, print the money as much as you want, helicopters can drop in new money, and nothing will happen. This is why they don't understand inflation. But they don't care about debt, and they're honest with you. But if you ask the Republicans, there's 49 of us in the Senate, there's a slim majority in the House. You ask Republicans, do you care about the debt? Every one of them will say yes. Unanimous, 100%. They'll come home, they'll come to the Rotary, they'll come to the Lions Club, they'll come to the Chamber of Commerce, they'll tell you they care about the debt. And yet, if you watch the way they vote, it's a handful that really care. The Freedom Caucus up there is about 40, they care. They sometimes drag along another 20 or 30. And sometimes we actually get a majority of the Republicans who care. So there was this big spending bill, another omnibus that came through this spring. A majority of the Republicans voted no. But the Speaker of the House voted with the Democrats. This is a problem. If we have our leadership siding with the other side, this happens all the time in the Senate. The big government Republicans, we won't mention any names, Mitch McConnell, side with the Democrats and they win. All 50 Democrats and 10 Republicans, and they win. We got to get better Republicans, and you've got one right here, Cameron Hamilton. Cameron mentioned FISA. It's the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act or Court. It's supposed to be directed towards foreigners. As much as I'm for defending liberty and privacy, if you live in Libya or Somalia or Russia and we spy on you, you really don't have constitutional rights. I'm actually okay with that. But they changed the law in the 70s because it was being used against Americans all the time, and they said we got to limit the use on Americans. Well, the limitation should be absolute. No American should ever be spied on by a secret court. Zero. So we had a vote on this. Not a perfect vote. I would say that, and I have this amendment, and I forced the vote, and I didn't do very well, but I would say FISA cannot be applied to Americans at all. Nothing. No Americans. If you want to spy on an American, there's a way. If you want a wiretap on a drug dealer, you go to the local federal courthouse and you ask the judge, and most of the time you get it. But you don't go to a secret court where the warrant, what if they did this? What if they said in a secret court, we don't like Max Strickland, which they probably don't like him in most of the court. But let's say they don't like him and they go to a FISA court. He never gets notified of the warrant. Then they place listening devices all over, and someone comes in here that's a customer and breaks the law. Now they're going to shut him down and take his restaurant from him. That's what happens in secret courts. You have to have the ability to challenge the warrant. You have to have your day in your court. You have to have a lawyer on your side. If you don't, it's not justice. FISA should never be applied to Americans. But we had a vote, and it was a modest proposal. It was to say if we're going to search the database that's been collected with a lower or less than constitutional standard that has many Americans in it, if you're going to search it for an American, you actually have to name the American, and there has to be a warrant before a judge, still a secret judge, so it isn't great, but it's better. So a warrant requirement to search this secret database. We had a vote. Majority of Republicans voted for the reform. All the Democrats, well, no, the Democrats were split also. So a majority of Republicans voted for the reform. The vote was 212 to 211, and then the Speaker of the House a Republican came forward and voted against the reform. So we have leadership that's siding with the other side. We need better people. You have a chance right now, and it's in the primary for an open seat. This is the best chance ever to get a good congressman. These don't come along. Someone's been there 10, 20 years, it's hard to remove them. You have an open seat, and you have an open Republican primary. Do not let down. Do not let go of this. Go out and work hard. Go door to door. Let's get somebody good. Somebody this good comes along very rarely, I can tell you. We had another vote this spring on giving money to Ukraine and several other countries. None of it paid for, all of it borrowed. And people say, oh, we need to be involved. And, Mitch McConnell will tell you, we need to be everywhere all the time, showing our might. But I think we show our weakness if we're everywhere all the time. I think we show our weakness to China and Russia and all these countries if it's all borrowed. If we're destroying our dollar to send the money to Ukraine, you think that makes us stronger? If we destroy our country, who is going to help in the end if we ever have to help anyone? We won't be able to do it because we're destroying our dollar in the process. So we had a vote on sending this money to Ukraine and other places, and somebody had a great idea, said, let's link it to our border. Let's say, by golly, we're not going to fix their border till they fix our border. But like so many things in Washington, they put forward fake reform that wasn't going to do anything to our border just to get the money out the door to Ukraine. But I'll tell you this, the true conservative position is this: not one penny sent overseas until we fix our border here at home. Democrats seem mystified by inflation. Democrats will go to a restaurant or to the grocery store and they say, oh, those grocery store owners are evil. They're increasing the prices all the time. They're gouging us. They're not making this up. There are Democrats that are for breaking up the grocery cartel, as if the grocery cartel somehow just came into existence and charges high prices. It is not the price of your goods that's going up. It's the value of your dollar going down. Cameron talked about some of the nonsense they're teaching you in the schools. Well, maybe we ought to teach economics in the schools again. Inflation is very simply put the creation of new money. It's expanding the money supply. And the reason it occurs is we spend money we don't have and it has to be borrowed. So we're $34 trillion in debt. About a third of that we sell to foreign countries. A third of that we sell to the public, and another third of it we just print it up. So the Federal Reserve doesn't have money, but they buy the debt of the U.S. Treasury. When they expand the money supply, your dollar shrinks in value and prices go up. People say, well, that's Bidenomics. Well, it's partly Bidenomics, but if you want to be honest, both parties are part of this. The previous administration added $8 trillion in debt. This administration is going to add $8 trillion. $16 trillion in two administrations, one Republican, one Democrat. If we're honest and we look in the mirror, Republicans have been part of the problem. We need better Republicans in Washington. That's why I'm supporting Cameron Hamilton. Cameron mentioned some of the disgusting things going on in the schools. Well, you know what thing we ought to do? Even Ronald Reagan was for this 40 years ago. Republicans used to have it in our platform. Why don't we get rid of the Department of Education? Liberty requires eternal vigilance. We have to fight. We can't give up. We can't give in. I fight every day for your liberty. I need help. I need allies. And please send us Cameron Hamilton. Thank you very much.
All right, once again, the senator has to depart here because he's got to go up and vote up in D.C. But let's give him another resounding round of applause. Senator Rand Paul. Thank you all for being here. God bless you. My family and I will be staying much longer, so I'll be happy to shake each of your hands. Please make sure you spend a whole lot of money and buy some food at Mac's restaurant, all of his desserts, you name it, maybe multiple drinks. I don't know, it's up to you. But thank you all for being here. God bless you. God bless Virginia. God bless the United States of America.
Hey, Mega. go to my live channel. Go out there and wave hi. I'm getting ready to start it. Stop it. You don't want to get up there and go. I'll do it. You just go to my Motley page. It'll be on there under my live feed. All right. Appreciate it. Thank you. And anything you can do, I use my social media. Well, there you go, Motley Patriot. Great event. We enjoyed it. We were glad to be here. Thanks for dialing in. Share this with all your friends if you can. Let them know what's going on. Let me make sure I'm in the center of the camera here. Anyway, let all your friends know. Share these links. Let's get that message out there. Any of your social media, your friends, give them a heads up. Thanks, Motley Patriot. Like and subscribe. And hit the notification button. Ding, ding, ding.